With the post-match press conference, first round of the NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball Tournament with Washington University. Incredible match, 5 sets. I imagine, Coach, it'd be hard to be prouder of a team fighting back the way that your team did after those first 2 sets.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of our girls. Calvin's a great team, especially to see them in the first round. It's actually really shocking that we got that matchup in the first round. I'm not sure how NCAA came up with that pairing, and I think a lot of teams around the country are shocked with that pairing as well. But I think both teams came out pretty aggressive, knowing what they had to do to kind of battle forward here. We talk a lot about what it means to play Bear volleyball and kind of how to have that grit and play as one unit and kind of not worry so much about the scoreboard, but kind of worry about what we're doing on the court on our side. And the score normally reflects that if you work hard and outwork your opponent. And I feel like we did that pretty well on set 3, 4, and 5. And that's compliments to the girls, because it's easy to do that stuff against kind of lower level teams, but against a team like Calvin, to be able to battle back and forth, force a 5th set after losing the first 2 is really difficult.
Well, and as you mentioned, it's incredible to think of the 2 teams in the national final last year, you know, facing off in the first round this year. You lost in 3 sets that time around, tight games. Incredible by your team to think, okay, well, it would have been easy to say, well, here we go again. We dropped the first 2 sets. What is it that they say, you know, in between sets, during the timeouts, that what was there a change that you saw in turning that momentum around into your favor after those first 2 sets?
That question probably needs to go towards the girls, because it's more of their decision and their choice and kind of their behavior at that point.
Yeah, I think we just knew that we had more to give, and we looked around and we said, we know we can do this, and we did.
Yeah, and when you're already down 2 sets, like there's nothing to lose. You might as well just go out and kind of do what you know you can do and give it your all, and I think that's what we did.
Pressure was off a little bit.
A little bit of that had to do with defense. You know, your defense and serve receive really seemed to improve in sets 3 and 4, and that seemed to get everybody else going, got that offense in motion.
Yeah, Calvin has great servers, and that's kind of what we struggled with last year in the national championship. Their ball moves around quite a bit, and I think it took us a little bit to figure out how to pass that ball. But I also think our serving got a little bit more aggressive towards them, and then defensively we just started working and kind of hitting our lines and picking up things a little bit more.
Lauren, talk a little bit about how special it is, the NCAA tournament. Obviously, you always want to make a long run. Your team made a long run last year. It's not going to be quite as long this year, but what is this experience like for you?
I mean, it's just like really special to play with a team that, you know, I really felt like we could beat anyone that we played this season, especially coming off of last weekend. And it's special to play with a team that has that kind of energy to it, and that's something that I'll always remember, even though, you know, things didn't go our way today. Calvin's a great team, so yeah.
Julianne, what's it feel like to be a player in a match like that? You know, the highs and the lows, and you know, it's nerve-wracking certainly for the people watching, and I can't imagine what it's like to be right in the middle of it. How would you put words to that?
Yeah, definitely nerve-wracking for part of it. Just kind of knowing last year's history between our 2 teams, like coming into it, there was a lot of, I don't know, nerves, pressure, you say. But I mean, once you kind of get in that rhythm with your team and you're like moving as one unit, it's kind of, that lifts off your shoulders, and it's just like doing what you always do.
I can say it's easier to be a player than it is to be a coach and a parent or a fan at that moment.
Coach Wobley, can you speak to last year opening up the tournament against Heidelberg and coming out to an 0-2 deficit, and this year same thing happened, but the team really rallied, came back, and really changed the momentum. In many ways it looked like WashU may end up with the victory over Calvin, the defending national champs.
Yeah, I think unfortunately we put ourselves in some tough situations sometimes, but I'm never nervous that the girls are just going to fall apart. I think when they look at each other and kind of know and experience, or kind of know and can feel where they need to go, they normally flip that switch and are able to do that. Sometimes it takes us a little bit longer, sometimes we're a little bit quicker at it. But I think it's kind of like Jay said, the pressure was kind of off a little bit, and then we could actually stick to the game plan, start working at the game plan, and the game plan was set 3, 4, and 5. We executed really well. The girls worked their different shots and made them move a little bit. But kind of our battle all year has been just what choice are we going to make when we show up on the court today? And I think that makes us a little bit dangerous to some people. Hopefully we figure that consistency out a little bit earlier next year. But I think last year and this year we were figuring it out at the right time when we needed to, and that's postseason.
Jay, can you speak to how you were able to effectively attack a team that has such length? I mean, they have 10 players that are 6 foot or taller on their roster.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard, like, looking on the other side of the net and seeing, like, a 6'2" middle who can also jump really high. So I think you just kind of have to run different routes, hit different shots, like, just try to keep them on their toes and, you know, not always just try and swing through them, but go around them or over them, things like that.
I think Ashley does a really good job, my assistant, of mixing up the combos that we run to open up our middles a little bit more, especially in situations where the matchups are pretty big. And so we like to get fast, athletic kids so that we can move things a little bit faster, and that seems to help out these guys in all their different routes.
Lauren, can you speak to how going against players like Jay and other teammates that you have during practice, like, really prepared you for a team like Calvin?
Yeah, I mean, our best competition is in practice. It's really great to, you know, be able to scrimmage and play ourselves and, like, get ready, like, digging those strong hitters like Jay and Foam in practice. And then when you go into a match, it's a lot easier. You're more prepared for it. So.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations on a great season. Enjoyed, I think everybody did, watching that match and the way your team fought. So best of luck coming back and making a lot of noise in the tournament next year.
Thank you.
Thanks.